Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos. Just covering all the bases. Welcome. So we're going to start off with a song that has, let me see, I think 4 words. So it'll be easy for you to pick up on the tune as well as the words. The first 2 words are bim bam, and the second 2 words are Shabbat Shalom. Okay? You'll catch on quickly, I promise. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Now the other 2 words. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom. Bim bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, ya 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 bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Here we go. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, ya 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 da 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 bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam.
Well, it's already been said, and yet, Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to all of you into this space, sharing into this moment. It's a pleasure to have so many of you here tonight. This is very special Shabbat for me. We haven't actually been able to share in this Shabbat, oh my God, 3 years. This is Bring a Friend Shabbat. So, how many of you are here for the first time? Raise your hand. Wonderful. You can thank the person next to you for having invited you, or just the universe for having brought you here tonight, because there is no mistake that you are here sharing this moment with us. And the thing about those Bring a Friend Shabbat is that it gets me to kind of do a reset and kind of share more in depth what makes this community so unique. The teachings that are flowing through all of us, the uniqueness of the music we share, the chanting, the depth of spirituality that we are able to drink from every time we come together. So that's what we'll do tonight. So it'll be a little bit like an intro to Bet Alef Meditative Synagogue, which I love to do. It reminds me of why we're here and what it is we're actually doing. And that's why you see so many members coming tonight. It's like, what was it already that we do here? I've been a member 20 years, but I've kind of don't know. Welcome to all of you here in the space. Welcome to all of you who are participating from home or wherever you are connected to us on this Shabbat. So how do we enter into Shabbat? Shabbat is, my favorite definition is from Abraham Joshua Heschel, who defined Shabbat as a cathedral. I think he should have said a temple in time. We used to have a temple in space, but for the last 2,000 years, we've had to recreate sacred space in the context of sacred time. So how do we mark? How do we celebrate? How do we enter even into sacred time? I'm getting a little reverb in my mic here. There's a buzzing behind me. Maybe it's just the spirit that is just so powerful already tonight. Maybe it's from the monitors. Maybe it's Giles' monitor. It will work its way through. And we'll have the wall of Jerusalem in the back also in just a moment as the slide will change. All that will happen seamlessly without anyone having to say anything, which is the magic of Shabbat. You see, Shabbat consciousness is that as soon as a thought arises within your consciousness, it is immediately fulfilled. And there it is. See? How do we enter into sacred space? Actually, we follow the Talmud. We follow the rabbinic tradition that invites us to step into sacred space, sacred time in 3 stages. Because you don't just show up at Shabbat services, walk through the door, and here you are. Everything is now holy. Everything is now sacred. No, we have to kind of ease into it. We have to create it together as a community for ourselves. So first we create what's called an Elv. We surround ourselves physically, mentally, spiritually with a pretend thread. A thread that unites us and a thread that surrounds us. And we imagine that we are going to spend Shabbat, this next 24 hours, within that spiritual thread. I want you to close your eyes. And take a few mindful breaths. Deep, mindful breaths. By mindful, I mean stay aware of the breath, the sensations of the breath coming in and going out all the way. And as you do that, see if with your next out breath, you can deeply also relax. Not to the point of falling asleep, remain alert, but just be here. If you want, you can do something like, you want to try that? Do it again. See, already something is shifting. Your consciousness, your awareness is more concentrated on here, now. The second thing we do, second step into Shabbat, is that as we are now in this more meditative space, we can take stock of the abundance in our life. How blessed we are. How blessed we are for a community that is holding us, that is with us, standing shoulder to shoulder as we move through the days of our lives, some darker than others, some more uplifting than others, the ups and downs of everyone's life. We get to share that with brothers and sisters on the path. The abundance of our financial, material blessings, however much we have, does not matter. The gratitude of the heart for this next breath that we get to take, for the possibility of the healing of the heart, for the possibility of forgiveness, forgiveness of self, forgiveness of others, forgiveness from others. And when we drop into that kind of gratitude, consciousness, abundance, awareness, then our tradition invites us into the little ritual I'm going to invite you now in turn to step into, is to share from that abundance, from that sufficiency, from that space of gratitude, because there are others who are yearning to meet even the little you have, the little I have. And in our congregation, every quarter we designate a charity, a recipient for the abundance that we are willing to share with actually our finances. And this month, and it followed a few months ago, the horrendous Supreme Court decisions that has torn apart our country since then, and has seen so many states now banning abortion and just the taking away of women's right. We as a community decided to step up and to share our abundance, your abundance, with an organization that supports women. It's called the Sophia Way. Sophia Way. And we will share half of all that we receive this month and next with this organization. So the Sophia Way is a place of hope. It's a place of change for women. It provides shelter, safety, stability, dedicated case manager to support these women to break free from the yoke of homelessness, from the fear of not knowing a safety for themselves, their family, their children. And it's an organization that not only provides a shelter, but it provides also guidance and people who can support these women who have suffered such great trauma. This is what we, through you and with your support, will continue to contribute to this month. We have what's called a tzedakah box, a box that is in the back of the sanctuary that is waiting for you to share from your heart of your abundance with these women and that organization. I invite all of you who are not lighting candles tonight, which is maybe 3 or 4, to find their way to the back of the sanctuary and contribute as much as you're able. In the meantime, those who are lighting candles, please come forward. We share together on page 14 the song Shalom Aleichem.
Mi melech
I haven't had the opportunity in 3 years to say what I'm again about to say, but in order for us to ensure attendance on a Friday night, I call people and tell them you're lighting candles Friday. And then so half the congregation comes one Friday. The next Friday I call the other half of the congregation. That's how we do it. We are delighted to have all of you here tonight. We're going to start on our right. And Jody David is lighting a candle tonight for her grandmother, Eva Mendelssohn, on her 29th yard site. Next to Jody, we're going to go to Evan first. We're going to go to Evan Brown. Evan Brown is lighting a candle tonight to celebrate completing his meeting with a very scary Bet Din, a group of 3 rabbis who sit in judgment of him harshly before his submersion into the body of water, the mikveh, that marks the official conversion to Judaism, which he did just a few days ago, and is shared with us, and he shares with the community tonight that he is exhilarated to finally be home with his tribe. Welcome home. So next to Evan is Kate Elias, who has been a great support of Evan through his conversion process and was there during the Beit Din, witnessing how harsh those rabbis were. I was one of them. Very awful, very terrible. And she's here also lighting a candle to bless his becoming MOT, a member of the tribe. She's also lighting a candle in memory of Patty Chimnick, who passed away, a friend of Kate who passed away yesterday. Next to Evan, behind the group there, we have, where are you? Here you are. Linda Moldauer is lighting her candle, her Shabbat candle tonight for her brother, Steve Gold, on his 35th yard site. In front of Linda Moldauer is, we're going to go with a young woman with a kind of checkered shirt there, waving at us. Her name is Linda Morris. We didn't have enough of one, so we found another one all the way in Michigan, and we brought her here. Linda Morris is lighting her Shabbat candle here tonight with love and gratitude for the Bet Alef community. For over 2.5 years, she has lived in Michigan in a virtual world by taking part in almost all opportunities to participate to whatever Bet Alef is offering online. And so she shares her gratitude for being such a shining light, for Bet Alef being such a shining light in these challenging times. She is a member of Bet Alef, a Michigan member of Bet Alef, and we welcome you. I know you're here for a couple of weeks, and it's wonderful you could come. Standing next to her is Patty Morris. You noticed the last name. They are sisters. And Patty is lighting 2 candles tonight. First, in honor of her first service live here at Bet Alef. She lives on an island somewhere in Washington State. She writes that after a long journey, she has finally found her spiritual home. Welcome home. She lights a second candle in honor of her sister, Linda Morris, who is visiting from Michigan. And it is an amazing blessing for the two sisters to be together here tonight at Bet Alef and share Shabbat together. Amen. Next and behind them, we have Susan Most, together with her children, Josh and Laura. You can recognize them. They all are wearing a hat. And the reason they are wearing a hat is that they are lighting Shabbat candles tonight in honor of the 4th yahrzeit of Ira Moss, beloved father and husband and member of Bet Alef, who loved and had all kinds of hats, including these 3. And each August, they celebrate Days of Dad, which mark the 2-week period between Ira's birthday and his transition date. And the way they do that is they read his letters aloud to each other, and they dine out in his favorite restaurants wearing those authentic dad hats. And so they're here tonight doing just that. Welcome. Behind Susan is Barry Lewine. Barry is lighting a candle for his wife, cherished Bet Alef member, Janet Lewine, who passed away on August 6th. And Janet is remembered by all of us, by all of those who knew her, and as he described her in beautiful words, simply the kindest, nicest person they ever knew. A person who quietly nurtured all of them. And last but not least, here tonight, in one of the papers here, is Stu Heller, who is lighting his Shabbat candles to remember his mother, Beatrice Ashraf Heller, on her 6th yahrzeit, and his aunt, Marcella Ashraf, on her 9th yahrzeit. Now at home, we have people lighting their Shabbat candles as well. Susan Kaufman McDonald is lighting her candles tonight in celebration of her 38th wedding anniversary, which was on August 11th. And Bernice Tansman Diaz is lighting her Shabbat candles in honor of Jerry Pettit's celebrating the 30-year anniversary of working at King County District Court as probation officer. 30 years. Over the past 30 years, Jerry's built many positive relationships and helped guide the lives of countless individuals with genuine kindness and a caring and empathetic heart, because this is who Jerry is. And Bernice feels that it is an honor knowing and working with him. Mazel tov, Jerry. Anyone here has worked 30 years for the same place? I know, right? Amazing. The blessing for our Shabbat candles is on page 1. We cover our eyes as we too are invited to look inside and see if we were to light candles tonight, what would it be for? What would we want to celebrate, commemorate, honor, just bless? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר Shel Shabbat. Amen. Thank you all. Thank you. So in a moment, we are going to share in words of blessing, prayerful moments. But I think it's a good time for me to front load my talk tonight. I wait a little bit for everybody to be kind of settled in and feeling into the energies of Shabbat. But I think I want to set it up tonight. And then let all of us flow with the energies that follow. And I'm going to talk about those blessings and those prayers and introduce them both in the context of their content, but also their purpose. Because we have a problem. See, we are a community that is challenged by the normal connection with words of prayers. We are challenged with this old version of God, as we have, all of us, whether we liked it or not, have been fed from the society around us, from the schools we grew up in, from the people who were influential, really by society writ large, that God is this elderly man figure sitting on the heavenly clouds. Oy. I don't know who came up with that, but come on. I mean, Santa Claus, okay. I can live with a bearded guy in this weird costume, drinking milk and cookies, whatever. It's fun. We can play with it. It's not ours, but we can play with it. Oh, but God, what a disservice to have really shrunk God to this cartoon figure. The word itself has become an obstacle for us to move beyond what those three letters can never encompass. It's as if the word universe would help us fathom what the universe is. You know what I mean? It's like those words are too small for what they're trying to describe, for what they are pointing to. And so a long time ago, God, it was more than half a lifetime ago, I had to let go of God. And I really am probably one of the few rabbis who doesn't believe in God. At least not the one that we were all raised to believe in. One of my favorite teachers says the God you don't believe in doesn't exist. So just relax. Nobody is going to thunderbolt you out of existence because you eat shrimp tonight. It doesn't work like that. I don't eat shrimp, but it's not because of that. No, I'm serious. I don't do that because it is part of being a member of this tribe. And it's just what we do or what we don't do. It's a path of connection. It connects me to the other members of my tribe. So let's talk about that which cannot be named. I'm going to call it that which is. Because that which is can never be a thought, can never be a noun. One of my favorite books that actually members of our community are reading right now, it's an old book. It's called God is a Verb. Why? Because as soon as you put God as a noun, you otherize it. You make it as an object. You make that as something. Something maybe to be found maybe sometime. Something to be rejected. But something. So God is a verb is a better way of understanding, because now we cannot call it God. We can at best call it God-ing. God-ing is God-ing moment to moment. And God-ing cannot be somewhere out there while we are here, because that is also limiting. What kind of a God-ing is only able to be in the heavenly spheres and has nothing to do with the earthly world? It's like we are just saying to God that, or God-ing, that no, there is a place that God is not going to be. What kind of a God-ing is that? It's not a all-encompassing God. What have we done? We've cut God's into pieces. And then we've jailed God and pushed God outside of reality. Here is the secular world, over there is the divine world, and never the twain shall meet. But if we are starting to understand God-ing as that which is, then we're starting to open our heart to the possibility that, in fact, God is in everything. God is in everything. God is in every place. God is in everyone. God is in every when. Actually, a better way to say it is how the Hasidic teachers have always couched it, which is in the negative. There is nowhere that God-ing is not. There is no when that God-ing is not. There can be God just on Friday and Saturday, and then the rest of the week God is not. There is nowhere that God is not, no when that God is not. A little harder, there is no one that God is not. Now that's hard because the ego is like, well, does that mean that I am God? No. It means that God is you. That's very different. Because the ego wants to be God. Feels good. I am God. Yes. We can see a lot of people who have believed themselves to be God. They're like, have, Putin as a name, or other people like that. I'm sure you've found some in your own life. That is not what this is talking about. This is really talking about that there is more to us than our ego concerns. That there is something that is moving through us as us that is greater than this little me that I spend my life defending, fighting, legitimating. That there is a still small voice, a spark within me that is radiating the wholeness, the sacredness, the holiness that is God infused through and through. Every atom, every molecule of this being, and this being, and this being. And when we start, and I'm not expecting any one of us to just pop and say, wow, I never thought that. No. but just to entertain the possibility that you are sacred, that you are the embodiment, the shell of that which is most holy. And then you're going to start to look around and say, well, if that's the case for me, then it's the case for this person and this person and this person. And then we start to break down all the walls of separation. We start to see each other as manifestations of that one being. There's a lot of quotes that are attributed to Albert Einstein, Rabbi Albert Einstein, I should say. But he seemed to have said, and I think this points to what I'm trying to say, the one that is looking at me through your eyes is the same one that is looking at you through my eyes. The one that is looking at me through your eyes is the same one that is looking at you through my eyes. There is no other one. There is nowhere that God is not, no when that God is not, no one that God is not, nothing that God is not. This entire universe is God-godding. Everything is Godding. Everything all the time. So I'm talking about this because as we enter into prayer, then what are prayers for? How do we even pray? Because it feels like praying is praying to something. And how can we pray to something if that something is at the same time around and within everything and everyone? All at once transcending and filling all universes and worlds. A totality that has no other. So we have to transform the way we read those verses and those prayers, not into praying to something, but in fact as injunction to remember the oneness of being present right now with this breath, in this room, with this heartbeat, just to keep remembering, because the ego is very good at getting lost in its own stories, its own narrative, its own pursuits, and it forgets the deeper truth underneath all of it. So that's how we engage with prayer. We engage with these words as ways to be reminded of deeper truths. And that is purpose. To me, any spiritual community, any spiritual endeavor has one overarching purpose, under the umbrella of which many actions follow, is to remember the oneness of it all and live from that place. Because from that place, there are no enemies. There are only people who have forgotten their holiness. Purpose is quintessential, because if we want to effect what we call in Jewish tradition tikkun olam, the healing of the world, is that we have to remake this world as sacred, because we have desacralized the world. We have made the world into objects to be plundered, to be used for our benefits. We have forgotten the sacred of this planet, of nature, of all that supports and sustains us, that with which we are intertwined. And that is purpose. That is why we're here. To break down the barriers of separation. So, let's see how good we can do. We're going to keep all of that in mind, I hope. And we're going to turn to page 5. And we're going to meet the Baruch Hu. And in these words, we're going to bless. We're going to open ourselves to blessing. Why? Because, again, we are the beings through which blessing flows. We're not blessing something outside of us. We are stepping into the consciousness that blessing can only manifest itself in this universe through the container that we are. And so the Hebrew says bless. It's not exactly what the translation is here, but bless et Adonai, with the eternal who itself is blessing. So that's why we rise, facing the wall of Jerusalem. And we say together, Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Bless the eternal, the one who is blessing. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Blessed is the eternal I, the one who is blessing eternally. In the middle of page 6, we meet the words of the Shema. Those are words, the 6 words that are inscribed in the Sefer Torah, in the Torah of our ancestors. Words that are the central affirmation of our tradition. Words that are the original meditation mantra of our mystics. They were words followed by what we'll do together, which is the Ve'ahavta, words that called to remembering the oneness, to understanding that all that surrounds us is the expression of a divine presence, including ourselves, and all that appears to be separate is, in fact, one. I often say, one dream, one dreamer. And the words that follow that in Torah are the Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta simply say, as you can read in the translation, now you can love. Actually, in Hebrew, it's even an exclamation, love. Why? Because if we awaken to the oneness that we are, that everything and everyone is, then what happens is that we cannot help ourselves but to fall in love with the totality of existence just as it is. Just as it is. So love. Join me. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Listen, Israel. The eternal manifests as all that is. The eternal is one. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Blessed is the name. The splendor of its presence shines eternally. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema You may be seated. I want to do the Ve'ahavta tonight exceptionally with the translation instead of the Hebrew. And I want us to pay attention to the words. Again, these words are all in Torah, but obviously understand that they have been translated from a consciousness that understands spirituality and the divine in the way that I sought to describe earlier. And look at these words as really a guide. It's fascinating that they were inscribed in our central text 2,500 years ago. We know they existed before that. They were kind of sewn together in this way. And look how they invite us into a profound kind of spiritual practice to awaken to that oneness within us through the path of radical love. Join me. Now you can love the Eternal One in all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your energy. Let these words connecting you to Source now be always in your consciousness. Embody them for your children and repeat them when you sit in your house, when you walk on your way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, and let them be as frontlets between your eyes. Write them upon the doorposts of your house and upon your gates, that you might become aware and engage in my spiritual practices and be bound in holiness to the one within. I am the Holy One, who manifests as all that is, the one who brought you forth from a place of enslavement to be for you, God. I am the Holy One, who manifests as all that is. I often read I am the Holy One not as, again, something outside, saying, exclaiming, I am the Holy One and you're not. I read them really as ways to remember, oh, I am the Holy One. I am the Holy One with this body and these hands and these voice that can, in fact, impact the universe in beautiful, whole, and healing ways. I am the Holy One. I am the Holy One. I am the Holy One. The whole point, as far as I'm concerned, of a human life, and I'm really serious, and I know I may be a lonely soul believing or understanding that, is to awaken and know that to be true through and through. And that's hard because it means that we have to push away that false sense of identity. We have to dissolve that sense of little I am. I am my name. I am my past. I am my upbringing. I am my conditioning. I am my subconscious, my unconscious. I am all the ways that it seems I react to the world or to the events. I am all of those stories and all of the narratives and all the things that I am against, that I am for, that I vote for or against, all the things that I resist. I am. And what I am is none of that. All of that is just a manifestation of I am. But it's not I am. I am the Holy One. Always. I am, and we know that because, you know that feeling we have? Some people call it the simple feeling of being. That feeling we have, that we had of being when we were 4 years old. That was the same when we were 14 years old and 40 years old. That sense that who we are isn't changing as this body is evolving and growing and decaying and whatever it's doing. We always had that sense that who we are is somewhere in the background of that, and that has never changed. In fact, some spiritual teachers have this pointer to this truth. They say, the I am, that everyone I ams is the I am that you were before Abraham was born. You have always been here. You have, and you keep taking all shapes and forms, every single body. But you were never comprised by any of the bodies that you take on. You were before this body came to be, and you will be there long after this body has returned to the earth from which it came. You were never born. You will never die, because you never enter into space-time. You are always already here. You have always been here. There is nothing but you. But as long as we are in this body and believe ourselves to be separate from the rest of the world, we keep needing these words of prayers, these mantras, these meditation practices to help us touch again and again and again the deeper truth, I am. And one of those practices, which I have used often as a mantra as well, just as much as Shema Yisrael, are these first words at the top of page 8. Adonai sfatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Eternal One, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. What it means is, Holy One of my being, Holy One who dwells within me, help this container as it opens its mouth. Say words of healing. Say words of holding. Say words of connecting. Say words of embracing. Say words of accepting. I know I'm going to fail from time to time. My ego is going to take over and I'm going to be harsh with others. I'm going to say things that I'm going to regret later on. I know this will happen, but Holy One, please help me as much as I can. Holy One of me, Holy One of my being, help me to remember as much as possible, to use the power of the words that flow through this container in speaking words of wholeness and embrace. Please rise. Join me. Adonai sfatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Eternal One, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Saram Elohei Rivka Elohei Leah ואלוהי רחל, האל הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו אהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני מלך אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה, רב להושיע, מכלכל חי בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מקיים הכל. Please be seated. We're going to continue in just a second with a song on page 31. It's called Yismechu Hashamayim. And we wanted to have that song tonight because I think the expression of what I'm trying to express and share with you is that first, that connection to oneness, which leads to an opening of the heart and acts of love, which translate into acts of love actually also in our world, acts of compassion. You know, to change the world, to make the world a more loving, kind place is a manifestation of the understanding of oneness. But what happens as well is when we truly relax and release into the absolute perfection and sacredness of it all, is that it allows us to let bubbling up an incredible expression of joy, of just pure joy, not conditional joy, but just an unbearable impulse of love and joy that are just become the expression of our life. And actually the Hasidic tradition put joy at the center of their practice. And if you weren't joyful, and I know there's some terrible thing that happened to us, some dark times, and it's not like you have to be joyful no matter what. That's not what I'm talking about. But joy is that underlying consciousness that says yes to life, no matter what happens. Yismechu Hashamayim. I think you're going to want to dance on that. Please rise.
ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ. And that's it.
Giles' joy, he was going to keep on going. Please be seated. We're actually going to also enter into a space of meditation. If someone could dim the lights in the sanctuary, we're going to enter into a space of meditation also with a chant, with some music. The chant is the chant that calls... No, that's good. Yeah, that was great. That's great. Well done. Everything just works perfectly tonight. It's just great. It's awesome. It's a chant that is a meditative chant. You are welcome to, once you get into it, to chant as well if you want, or you're just welcome to let it move through you as a meditation. And it's a chant that calls up 3 different names for God. You know, it's like in Judaism, everything is a name of God. There's 72 names of God, and that's just on page 1. We're going to have 3 names of God that are going to be part of this chanted meditation. And then we'll go into some silence after the chant for a few minutes as well, kind of to let the energies of the chant, the rest in the silence. The first name of God you'll hear is Adonai. Adonai is the name of God that points to the absolute transcendent, the ineffable, the unmanifest aspect of the divine, out of which the second name of God awakens, Eloheinu. So you're going to see Adonai, Adonai, and then it's going to go Eloheinu, Elohim. Eloheinu is the one that manifests as the many, the one that manifests as each of us. See, that's one of the names of God. It points, just the name of God points us to that realization. Eloheinu, the one that manifests as each of us. And then it's Elohim, which is the one who manifests as everything, everyone, everywhere. All right, so Adonai is one, Eloheinu, Elohim, and then we'll have also El Shaddai. And El Shaddai is the name of God as it points to the one becoming, how do you say that? One becoming a dualism. That every dualism, every two-ness, every separation, every dichotomy, even that is an expression of one. And that's the name El Shaddai. So here we go.
Adonai, 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 Eloheinu, Elohim, Eloheinu, Elohim, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, Adonai, 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 Eloheinu, Elohim, Eloheinu, Elohim, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, Adonai, Adonai,
And may the one I am, and may the one you am, may the one that everyone am, awaken as healing and hauling for those we know in our life, perhaps including ourselves, to be in need of such healing, to be in need of such healing. We invite into this space, we invite into our hearts the faces, the names of those we know to be in need of such healing. We call out the names of those you have inscribed on our community's healing list this Shabbat. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, מי שברך אמותינו שרה, רבקה, לאה ורחל, הוא יברך וירפא. At David Mark, Katie Margaret Bank, Lynn Carroll, Eileen Wellens, Alan Walton, Arlene Ross, Pam Lesner, Michael Hall, Steve Lucas, Elliot Applebaum, Jerry Pettitz, Lawrence Stern, Dorinda Regan, Elaine Lees, Zoe Chaya Young, Michael Burkhard, Russell Waldy, Salim Matgrass, Judy Lundquist, Jerry Sanderson, Rona Sanderson, Herb McDonald, Edward Mosshart, Danita Simon, Shoshana Kaufman McDonald, Ken Carr, Ed Huffman, Terry Woodland, Darlene Regan, Katie Ann Barry Cortis, Stan Sims, Mary Allison Castleberry, Jeff Oakley, Kenyatta Bennett, Shelley Prince, Donna Glosser, Ed Diaz, Saul Liskin, Evie Liskin, Melanie Grimes, Linda Zbigley, Linda Dimitriov, Claire Petersky, Douglas Walker Owens, and Nika Owens. And in our hearts, we name all we know to be in need of healing. ימלא רחמים עליהם לחזיקם ולרפאותם רפואה שלמה, רפואת הנפש, רפואת הגוף. And we share with all of them on page 33 in your prayer book, El na refanala, words that Moses pronounced in an ancient wilderness to heal his sister Miriam. Elna Refanala, please, Holy One of all being, let healing be now. have reached the concluding moments of our Shabbat service together. We turn to page 12 and we rise for the Aleinu. We can have the, well, there you go. Amazing. I am in awe of the oneness, kindling lights, opening doors, and saying words together. We are the ones given this way of praising the Holy One of all being, that we might understand and express the greatness of the one who shapes all creation. We celebrate our uniqueness and that of others, and seek to discover the wonder that we are. Therefore, we bend the knees, we bow, and we proclaim our gratitude before the ruler of all rulers, the Holy One of all being. As it is said, then we shall truly realize the Eternal One as universal being. And on that day, the unity of being shall be celebrated by all. Aleinu leshabeach la'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. On page 13, we meet the mourner's Kaddish tonight. And before we share in its words together, we take a moment to create between us a circle of memory, to honor the lives of those who have walked along our path for a while, those who have shared with us their joys and their struggles, their moment of greatest tragedy and moments of greatest triumph, moments of greatest light and moments of greatest darkness, those who are continuing on their journey of rediscovering the light of being that they have always been. And as we name the names of those we remember in this moment in our heart, we also call out the names of those you have inscribed on our memorial list for this Shabbat. Those who have made their transition in recent days and weeks, those for whom we hold the practice of Shiva or Shloshim in Jewish tradition. Peter Rothenberg, a former member of Bet Alef, Lillian Koppel, mother of Shelley Koppel and friend of Susan Hoffman, Janet Lewine, member of Bet Alef and spouse to Barry, Maggie Green, a friend of Susan Austin, Patty Chemnick, a friend of Kate Elias, Lily Levy, John Calvo's aunt. On this Shabbat, we also hold in light of memory those who have made their transition this past year. Elizabeth Egan, Gilbert Feldman, Lavi Cohen, Ruth Veldy Cowan, Marshall Hartman, Janet Koloff, Roberta Allure, Samuel Gersonovich, Larry Laufer, Pauline Morris, Daniel Glosser, Michael Ben Yaakov Vesara, Chris Werner Mochel, Nan Benson, Donna Mary Harris, Jerry Sutton, Lillian Danker, Murray Gordon, Ted Kuwana, Sylvia Singer, Vicky Bross, Mickey Stern, Phyllis Levin, Marion Meisinger, Leonard Shaw, Dr. Joan Margaret, Dr. Murray Mollican, Robert Plâtre, Donald Meadow, Leah Vetter, Simon Garcia, Thomas Mites, Ira Horowitz, Alan White, Kiana, and Estelle Delson. On the Shabbat, we also hold in light of memory those whose yahrzeit, the anniversary of their transition, happens at this time of the year. Beatrice Ashraf Heller, Marcella Ashraf, Morris Heller, Steve Gold, Kathleen Allwell, Fred Davis, Ira Moss, Richard Stern, Jody David. Join me in the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabba, ba'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chai echon u'v'yom echon, u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום. עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. May the one who creates harmony above make peace for us, for all the household of Israel, and for all the peoples of the world. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated for just a moment. We are just seconds away from our concluding song. But before that, a couple of things to remind us. We continue our exploring of the Guide of the Perplexed. We've been at it for almost 2 years now. We're still perplexed, which means that any one of you can join us midway. It's tomorrow morning via Zoom at 10:30. Just find us on our website, or if you get our newsletter, the link is there as well. high holidays. I've been in denial for a while, but it seems it's happening. And it's happening pretty soon. We're just a month away. And we need a few more volunteers. We need volunteers in all aspects of high holidays, but we specifically need a few volunteers to help us with the potluck lunch of Rosh Hashanah Day, which will be Monday, the 26th of September. If you plan on coming and would like to just give us a hand, we don't need a lot of people, just a few. It's very labor intensive. All members bring food for the potluck, and it's just a little bit of a challenge to organize it all and make it look beautiful. So please share your talents. See either Melissa or Cindy. Is Cindy still here? Do you want to stand up for a second? She coordinates all our volunteers, so please see her. She'll be here until tomorrow morning. Couple more things. If you don't know it, we have an app. And if you have our app on your phone, you can take us wherever you go, and we're always here with you, whispering words of oneness in your ear, which we all need. I'm doing an event on 9/11 to commemorate the 21st anniversary of that day. I'm doing an interfaith event at what saint is it? I get them all confused. St. James Episcopal Church. It's near the Children's Hospital, University Village. There are several groups of us coming together, Muslims, Christians, Jews. It will be announced, but mark the date and try to put it in your calendar. The last thing I want to say, something very close to my heart, that I would like to see a little bit more activities around. We have created a reparations fund. Some months ago, with the approval of the board, I invited our community to join this movement that is happening all over the United States to affirm with tangible ways the debt of blood that we have of the native people of this land and also the enslaved people of this land. And we have created a reparation fund to support local organizations that are under the leadership of, obviously, right now, African-American leadership, but we'll be looking to support also Native organizations down the road. And I really would love for that fund to get a little love, if possible. So if you happen to be on our website or get our newsletter, please find this reparations fund and support this very important effort going on. Join us for the Oneg. In exactly less than 5 minutes, we'll adjourn downstairs. There is a little bit of wine or juice, some challah, and other little foods to share together. If you're here for the first time, I'd love to meet you and talk with you, and see what happened for you tonight. Hopefully, one thing you'll take away is to drop that word, God, never use it again, and instead to use maybe that which is. If that is all that has happened for you tonight, I have fulfilled my duty as rabbi of Bet Alef Meditative Synagogue. And if I was still not able to open your heart to this maybe new perspective, we still have one song. We kept the best for last. It's also a verse from the Torah. And it's the time when Moses asks God, which is not a good word, what is your name? Nobody ever asks that which is. what is its name? Moses had the chutzpah to ask that which is what its name is. And it literally says in Torah, I am that I am. Tell the Israelites when you go back to Egypt that I am has sent you. It literally says that in the Torah. I'm not making it up. I wish I could, because I would make $1 million. But we've affirmed the name of the one for thousands of years, and we still haven't heard it. One of my most beloved teachers, his name is Adi Ashanti, asked the most poignant question, the most life-changing question that to me points to this as the answer. He asks, who are you if you don't let the mind tell you who you are? Page 18, of course. Ehyeh asher ehyeh. Shabbat shalom. Wait. Diana. You're going to be with me. I am as I am.